Hi everybody, this is Shanna with Shanna Sweets. Thank you for joining me. It's that time of the month. It's time for my sweet treats video. If you don't know what my sweet treats is, it's this cute little card kit package you get from me for purchasing $25 worth of product for me during the month. I ask that you use my little host code. For July, this is the host code, and you get to make 2 cards. I don't send you the stamps, so usually you can use any stamps you want, or if you have the stamps that I'm using, then you can use that one. So I send you the die cuts or the panel to stamp on. So this month, of course, is July, and I chose to do a little Christmas in July. Of course, this particular stamp set, you could swap out the Christmas sentiment and put in another sentiment if you wanted, because it's trees. So you could put in a hello greeting or birthday even if you wanted to, because you could easily use the trees and make it a masculine birthday card if you wanted to. But, I wanted to do Christmas in July. I just thought, get a little head start. This is the Winter Woods. It carried over from the holiday catalog last season. And what I really, really liked about this was the dies. So these are the dies that come with it. Now, I didn't use these accent dies this time, but I did really, really like this die. This is the one die that I've used in the set, and as you can tell, and you'll get this die in your thing, this flips up. This is what sold me on these dies. I wasn't going to get this because I had Lovely as a Tree, I had Roots in Nature, and I thought, really, do I need another tree set? And yep, I did, because look at that. Isn't that so cool? I really do. I really like it. And honestly, I do like this stamp. I like this formation of the trees. I like the way they're positioned. And they are different than the trees that was in Lovely as a Tree did not carry forward. So it definitely is different than Rooted in Nature. And I do like this, even this single tree. I haven't used, we are using it on the oval here. And I like the way that tree is too. So let's get started. We're going to start with the white one. And I really liked this card because it was just, I really, really like the white on white. And I don't know if you can see, but we're going to do white embossing. And can you see the glimmer? So this is going to be white embossed on this white oval. And in person, you can really see it, but it's just shimmery. So let's do our embossing first. You're going to take the largest oval and then the small oval here. And I'm going to run my little embossing buddy over both my ovals. And I'm going to take my Versamark. And actually, I'm going to lay it flat. I have it on. And I'm just going to ink up my big tree first. Scoot the little one over, and I'm gonna give it nice oomph, nice and squishy. Pull that off, and then I'm gonna take my white embossing powder and just run it. I kind of have mine in a container here. These are just little containers I got at the Dollar Tree. Just make sure it's good and covered. I'm going to set that down for a minute. And then I'm going to take my sentiment and I'm going to just stamp it. And this one's a little smaller, so I'm going to take my tweezers and hold it here so that I don't Now, I got a couple little strays here, so just gotta clean them up a little bit. Trying to debate. I think my U's okay. I'm just debating if it's just a little bit, it's just a tiny bit over, but I think it's okay. Alright, let's cover my silver up. Now I got my heat tool here. I'm going to turn it on and warm it up a minute. And if you can watch, this will turn shiny. I don't know if you can see that it's gotten shiny. So that one's done. I don't know if you, this white's kind of hard to if you can see it. Trying to turn that off. I don't know if you can see that tree there. All glossy. Now we're going to take the little oval and we're going to put it on. I have a silver scallop. And then, so we're going to take, this is 8.5 by 5.5, and we're going to fold it in half. Got my little bone folder here. And I am using the Woodland embossing folder and a piece of silver edged ribbon. A couple pieces of Scotch tape. And I'm just going to put that across the bottom, tape it down. And put, don't get stingy with your tape when you got an embossing folder, because it you want it to be nice and secured. And then I'm gonna make sure I have a good amount of tape there, and I want to make sure I have plenty of space on my, and then I'm going to use some glue dots on my tree. So I'm going to put the glue dots on the parts of the tree that aren't the parts, because I want this parts to stick up, okay? So I would like these little doodaddies to stick up. So kind of flip them up So I don't want my glue dots on that part. So I'm gonna just find and then I can stick it like that. And then I'm going to grab dimensionals for my scallop. And that will go like that. And there's card number 1. Now, card number 2, we are going to start with a 4 1/4 or 4 1/2 by 3 7/8. And I've got a granny, apple, and olive, old olive stamps. And I started with the granny apple, and I'm going to kind of go over, and then I'm going to go in my old olive, and I'm going to kind of go to the other side on the old olive. Okay. Now, once I have that done, then I'm going to take my trimmer and I'm going to cut at 1 1/2. And then cut again at 1 1/2. That'll give me 3 1 1/2 inch panels. Then you have 3 old olive. So I'm going to put tape on each one of these. And each one of these guys is going to go on one of these panels. Oh goodness, preferably straight. Totally messed that one up. Not a very good option when you've got something you just trimmed. That's okay. Make it work. It's gonna work. Let me put some more tape on here. All right, now here's my crumb cake, 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. Okay, so let's take this outer edge and we're going to put it take the middle one, line it up next to it, and then the third one, and we're going to line it up next to that one. Now you will get a piece of this designer series paper, and it's going to be longer than the front of your card because I don't know how much space each person's going to put between here, so I didn't want to cut it for you. So first I'm going, and I want mine edge to edge on the old olive, so I'm going to line it up there to that spot, and then I just kind of trimmed it myself with my scissors like that. But I'm going to take my twine first and I'm going to tie a bow, and of course I like to anchor mine most of the time. So I put a little glue dot, and I'm going to go ahead and put a couple pieces of tape back here just to make sure. And of course I like my dimensionals. I think in this case I might like them a little more. And then you kind of have to decide. I think I want a little bit of my white showing below, so I'm going to put it right there. I'm going to trim my twine, and then I am going to use, this is the Story Punch. And so I'm just going to punch me out a label, and then I'm going to use the Granny Apple and just stamp me out my sentiment. And since I've already got it popped up, I don't want to add any more thickness because a lot of times I use these in my booth for Christmas card packs. So there we go. So that is my sweet treat for the month of July. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you'll like and share my video, and I hope you'll find lots of great product in the catalog so this sweet treat can be yours. Thank you so much, and if you have any questions, please feel free to write. Bye.